Hello, hello, hello. Again, this is Cassandra Terry, your manifesting miracle maker, and today is Wake Up Wednesday. So, I'm tickled because I did a whole broadcast this morning, y'all. I committed to coming on around 7 a.m. And I typically, this week, I've been doing Facebook Live. Before this, it was always pre recorded. But I did a challenge last week to get comfortable getting in front of the camera and speaking to you guys live. And so I've been doing that since last Friday. And because I have to post it everywhere, individually, I grabbed a new tool so that I can go live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube at the same time. And I recorded all. I was live for 30 minutes this morning talking about being intentional with no video and no audio. So things do not always go the way we plan, even when we are being intentional. But if we are resilient, if we are committed to what it is that we say we are about, what it is we say we're going to do, we won't let hiccups, technical hiccups, needing training, needing to get more comfortable with tools, we won't let things like that hold us back. So even though this one will be quick because I need to get my workday started, but I wouldn't be defeated by a tool or anything else. Today is Wake Up Wednesday. Wake Up is about being intentional, and I intend to connect with you guys this morning and for us to have this conversation. So I am glad that you're here. If you see this later on replay, just hashtag replay so I'll know that you were there. And guys, interact. It makes it easier for me to talk. I even said on the video this morning, I'm just talking to a black screen. Well, the reason I was talking to a black screen is because I had not connected my video and audio properly. So I can see myself now. So I think you can see and hear me as well. So when we talk about waking up, what we are talking about is being intentional. There have been lots of times in my life where I've gotten in my car, headed to a familiar place. Time passes, the car moves, and before I know it, I'm at that place and I don't even remember driving the route. I don't remember how I got there. I'm just on autopilot. And I'm here to help you wake up and to ensure that you are not on autopilot in your life. When you're on autopilot, things just happen. When you're on autopilot, you just respond to what's going on. That is a position where you have absolutely no control. You are just a victim of your circumstances and responding to what comes your way. And we are more important than that. We can choose to live our lives with intention, and intention has to permeate our entire being. First, we need to be intentional about our thoughts. That's important. If you think it, if you really believe it, then you are well on your way to that thing coming to pass. It was one of our former presidents who said, if you believe that you can, you're halfway there. I can't remember. I think it was Theodore Roosevelt. If you believe that you can, you're halfway there. So everything that I talk about is always predicated on the mind and our thoughts and our mindset. It starts with that, getting connected to your inner voice and understanding how you think and what you think about yourself is so important. You'll see next to underneath my face, take my free course. The course is called Transforming Your Inner Critic into Your Inner Voice, I'm sorry, Transforming Your Inner Critic into Your Inner Advocate. You should be your number one advocate. Remember, if you're a parent or if you've spent any time around a small kid, we cheer that child on for everything. The Oh, you used the potty. Oh, you took your first steps. Oh, you're eating from a spoon. Everything that they do, we're cheering them on. And why do we do that? Because we're building up their confidence. We're building up our connection with them, and we're just proud. We're proud of our offspring and our family and the kids around us. That's how you should feel about yourself. Your inner voice should be doing just that for you. Let that sink in. If you are not cheering on your being, just the fact that you're here, just the fact that you got up this morning, then you're not doing a service to yourself. You've got to transform that inner voice from being a critic into being an advocate, telling you you've got this. Hey, you got up this morning, you've got a day ahead of you, and you're going to smash it. If you believe it, you're halfway there. I'm sure I'm butchering his quote, but hey, close enough, right? You get the gist. And that's what we want to talk about is when we're intentional, we have to start by being intentional about what we think and how we think. And then we have to become intentional about what we say. I mentioned earlier this morning that I have a cousin. We'd had a death in our family, and a bunch of us were gathered at my aunt's house, and we were just hanging out and being together, supporting each other through that tough time. And we were just all out talking. And I was really being negative. The things that I was saying about myself were negative. They were cloaked in joke. I was saying them as if they were funny, but I had a cousin that was standing near me. And every time I said something that was self-effacing, every time I said something that wasn't so kind to myself, he was holding up that mirror to me. And he was like, I'm surprised to hear you say that. I don't see you that way at all. Oh no, I don't even know why you keep saying things like that. That's not you. And after he did it about 3 times, I caught on that I was consistently bad mouthing myself. I was criticizing myself. I was being a critic instead of being an advocate of me. I'd rather you be neutral than to be a critic of yourself. And him holding that mirror up and allowing me to hear what it was that I was saying and how I was speaking about myself was really transformational. And that's something that I will thank him for the rest of my life, because it really opened me up. It gave me a view of myself, connected me more consciously to how I was moving through the world than I had been before he did that. I realized that I was consistently, for whatever reason, down talking me. There's plenty of folks that will do that. The world will beat you up. It'll chew you up, spit you out. Why in the world would you do that to yourself? And I am so grateful for him, because it clicked on in my head. And then I was able to start practicing, catching myself when I was doing it and stopping it, and starting to practice a better way of communicating with myself about myself. It's important. If you believe it, you are halfway there. And what I was showing that I believed about myself, first of all, it wasn't accurate. Not accurate at all. I wasn't nearly as bad as I was making myself out to be for whatever reason. But sometimes we get conditioned to just talk and be the way we are accustomed to talking and being. And it takes something like the bravery of that cousin to kind of shake you out of it. And so I hope that you've got people in your life that will pour truth into you, that will pour positivity into you. And I hope you pick up what they're doing. And more importantly than them doing it, you begin to do it for yourself. So be a couple of ways that we can start to take control and be more intentional is how you start your day and how you end your day. When you go to bed at night, you are getting into a really relaxed state where your subconscious mind is most open. So in that state, as you're getting ready to go to bed, if you start to think about the day that's coming, and if you start to see yourself and feel yourself in a good day, being accomplished, bringing something positive into the world, that's what you're going to program your subconscious to expect. And then you get up the next morning, and when you're making your to-do list or doing whatever your morning routine is, same thing. One of the things that is so important about a to-do list is you've got to be emotionally connected to it. Can you imagine how many promises we've made to ourselves over a lifetime that we haven't kept? We're in the season of broken promises right now, because the new year is upon us, right? It's February 1st. So the first month of the new year is gone. And we've probably already started to slip away from those New Year's resolutions. I don't really do them. I do set my goals for the year with me and my husband, but I don't get into the New Year's resolution thing, because we should be setting goals, and we should be, good morning, Ray, glad to see you. We should be setting goals and working towards those goals throughout the year, not just at the beginning of the year. So it's always a good time to determine the trajectory of your life and what it is that you want to accomplish. But if you want to change what typically happens to your to-do list into something that you actually accomplish, a couple of things. What you put on that list, visualize, see yourself accomplishing that thing, and allow yourself to feel what it feels like to accomplish that thing. Get into it. Now you've got yourself more emotionally connected to it. It's more real to you, and you're more likely to make it happen. It's not just some words on a page, but it's actually something that you have, at least on a subconscious level, or at least imagined yourself in that situation. And it helps, it connects you, and it makes it more real for you. So don't just write it down, connect to it. One of the things that I did, I started last year, I was watching a TikTok, and it was the voice of Steve Harvey, who I love his messages. And Steve Harvey was suggesting that he was encouraging people to write down 300 things that you're asking God for. Man, that's a lot. And I just didn't think that that was possible, that I would ever come up with 300 things. And I'm not quite there, but I'm at like 249. And what was powerful about that number is that we all have these things that we want, right? There's a certain lifestyle that we would like to have, things that we want, ways that we want to show up in the world. So that list goes pretty quick. You may get 20 things. And then what happens though is you start to really think. You start to imagine, and you start to see your life bigger than those things that you've kind of thought about your whole life. I want this type of job, this type of car. I want to see my grandkids on a regular basis. Whatever the case may be on your normal list, once you get past those things and you're really trying to get it done, your mind opens up and you start to imagine. In that moment, when I was working on my list, I imagined a conference, and me hosting a conference, pulling in people that I know who are experts in different things, and building this conference that is about basically living your best life. And we have speakers who are going to talk about finances. We have me talking about mindset. We have people talking about life transitions, whether it's, families, parents becoming empty nesters, kids who are transitioning from college, athletes who are aging out of their sport and figuring out what they want to do next, but how you make transitions in life without it being so difficult. All these things just started to flow, and I picked up my pen and paper and I just started to write it down, and I called a couple of people so that I planted that with others, and I didn't forget about it or something and it get lost. And so it's powerful. Trying to write down 300 things that you desire will really open up your imagination. And a lot of people think, that's just greedy. How could you want 300 things? It wasn't all material. I have wishes on there for marriages in my family. I have desires for children. There's relationships that I would like to see mended. So that list took me places that I never thought that I would go, because I just wasn't thinking on that level. So it's, if you're interested, I would encourage you to do that. And the other thing that was really powerful, so his thing is write down 300 things that you're asking God for. Read the list every morning with expectation. And then a year from when you started your list, go back and read it in its entirety and mark off how many of those things have come true. Guys, there's at least 3 things on my list that I put them on there and they happen the next day. There's a influencer. Her name is Angel Charmaine, and she's a part of like this Speak Up Sis enterprise that she's built. And I'm actually in her magazine, the winter edition. She chose one of my blog posts for her magazine. I had put on the list that I would like to collaborate with her. She didn't know me from a can of paint at this point. The very next day, I logged into one of her lives and we're talking, and she opened up her live for people to come on, and I raised my hand, and I happened to be one of the people that she chose. And we had the best impromptu collaboration on Facebook. Something that I wasn't expecting. And as a result of that, we are planning to do other things together. And so, just putting it out there, just seeing yourself in these different places, being intentional. But let me say this about intention. You can't be intentional about your life if you don't know what you want. So back to that list, really thinking about those things helps you to be intentional, because you've got documentation of what it is that you desire out of your life. So the first thing we have to get before we get intentional is clear. Get very clear about what it is that you desire. Document that thing and keep it in front of you. And then you make decisions day in and day out. Because I say all the time, that's all life is. It's a series of decisions. We make decisions, hundreds of them, if not thousands, thousands of decisions every single day. What time am I going to get up? What am I going to wear? What am I going to eat? Am I going to try to drive in this weather today, or am I going to stay home? Decision after decision after decision. And those decisions have consequences, right? So make decisions that will move you towards your goals versus get in between you and what it is you want to desire. And when you're clear about what those goals are, it is so much easier to do that, right? So if I know that I want to have $10,000 in the bank by the end of the year, then I may think differently about the number of times I call DoorDash to bring me something, right? I may decide to go get groceries and cook at home and be more frugal because I've got a goal. And every decision that I make that includes money is either pushing me towards or bringing me away from the goal that I've got set for myself. So being intentional helps you to make good, solid yeses and good, strong no's that you can stand on and that you feel good about because they align with what you're trying to accomplish or not. You say yes to the alignment, you say no to the things that are out of alignment with what it is you're trying to do with your life. And it gets easier when you're clear. So be intentional, document what it is that you want, and be very, very careful about what you say and how you say it. I talked about, I think it was yesterday, whether the glass is half empty or half full. Whichever your perspective is, you're right. There is the same amount of liquid in that glass, but what are you focused on? Are you focused on what you have, or are you focused on what you don't have? If you focus on abundance and what you have, you're going to start to attract more of that to yourself. If you focus on lack and what you don't have, then your hands are closed, you're less likely to be able to give, you're fearful of not having enough, and it changes how you move through the world. So what you focus on will really help with your mindset. It'll help with how you speak, and it'll help with what you do and how you move through the world. Is your glass half empty? Yes. Is your glass half full? Yes. However you look at it, you're right. The only thing that's different in that response is the focus. So I want to encourage you to focus on what will bring light and life and joy. And when you look at the things that did not bring life and light and joy, I'm not saying pretend that they don't happen. I'm not saying stuff them down and pretend like life is rosy all the time, because it's not. Life is lifing all the time. And sometimes life throws us some tough stuff. But when it does, what you have to do is keep moving. Put one foot in front of the other. Sometimes we have to pause and we have to gather our breath. We have to gather our strength. Sometimes we have to lean on others to support us to get through something. All of that's great as long as you don't stop. The last place you want to stop is in the hard place, because there's nothing around you but difficulty. Keep putting one foot in front of the other until you get through that situation, and then you look back and you realize, I'm stronger than I was before. I'm wiser than I was before. I've got a different outlook on life than I had before. So those difficult situations, as much as we would rather them not happen, they're only a waste if you don't learn the lesson that it was designed to teach you. There's something that we can take. There's a gift in every situation, even the worst ones. We lose people that we love, and that will never be easy. We never get over that. But we do learn some things about ourselves as we go through that process. We learn about our resilience. We learn about our ability to stand on our own. We learn about our strength. We learn about who really cares about us. We learn about how we really care about others. There's so much that we can gain from every situation. And I found myself saying at an event a couple of weeks ago that when I look back on my life, I definitely have had more good than I've had bad. I acknowledge that. But some of the bad was really bad. But if I had to change it today, I wouldn't. Because if I changed it today, I would not be who I am today. If I go back and change anything, I change everything. So the only thing I'm changing about my life situations and the things that I've experienced in life is how I look at them. So I am not going to belabor and bemoan something that I wish hadn't have happened. I'm going to look at that and say, what did I learn, or what should I be learning from that? And how do I adjust my life so that I don't go through that again, or that I'm better prepared the next time? So every situation has something to teach us. Hi, mother. I see my mom has joined. Good morning. So every situation teaches us something. And if nothing else, it teaches you that you can. So I will be 55 in April. So two nickels, they're coming. I will be 55 years old in April. And in 55 years, I have accomplished what I've set out to accomplish. I have overcome everything that came to trip me up. You can say the exact same thing. It's true, or you wouldn't still be here. If you're here, you have survived everything that life has brought you to this date. So instead of going, my life has been so difficult and this bad thing happened and that bad thing happened, what you can realize is that I am so strong. I am so resilient. I am so capable. I can do and overcome whatever comes my way because I've got 55 years of experience that tells me that that's the case. We forget that when we're in the thick of it. We forget who we are. We forget how strong we are. We forget what we're capable of because when we're in the thick of it, we're just trying to get through. We're just surviving. But if you just stop for a minute and realize, I've gotten through everything else. So even though I don't like this thing, even though I want it to be over, my life has taught me that I'm going to be okay. I'm always okay. I've been okay in every situation, good, bad, and indifferent. So my life has taught me that I'm capable of getting through. And if we remember that, then we kind of give ourselves a little bit more space to breathe. We keep moving and we start to be a little bit stronger. Chest can be pumped up just a little bit more because you realize just how far you've come. We will never just presto magic overnight everything line up the way we want it to. But if we keep taking those steps day in and day out, take the next best step, do the next right thing. If we do that, my mom says with God, all things are possible. She is absolutely correct. With God, all things are possible. And because of him, I'm right here talking to you guys today. And because she and the other women in my life primarily and my grandfather who was a minister poured those scriptures and poured those things into us as little people, we had that to hang on to when time were tough and we could keep going. And so I absolutely agree, mother. With God, all things are possible. And so I hope that all of you have something that's bigger than yourself. You have a why. What is your why? Whenever you're getting ready to accomplish something, you're setting a goal, you're setting your intention, ask yourself why you want that thing, why you want to do whatever it is that you want to do. And then when you answer that, ask yourself why again, and keep asking why until you get down to your basic core reason. And that reason will keep you going when everything else tells you to stop. Are you doing it for your children? Are you is there was there something in your youth that lit a fire in you about something and you've just got to live it out loud? You can't not do this thing. When you figure out what that why is, that will propel you forward when everything else says stop. When you don't feel well, when you don't want to get out of bed, when you just don't want anything, if you found your real why, it will outweigh every excuse that you could possibly think of. That why will move you through and keep you going through any situation. So, all right, I have been talking for quite some time for the second time because I know some of you guys are just joining, but I was laughing at the start of this session because I recorded this morning for 30 minutes using a new tool that allows me to post to be live on both my Facebook pages, YouTube and LinkedIn all at the same time. And I never clicked I missed one button, and that button turned on my audio and video in the live. So on all my platforms right now, there's a 31 minute and some seconds live video that's playing, and it looks really pretty, but there's no video, there's no audio, and there's no video. So I'm intentional and I'm resilient. I did not let technology beat me. I came back in to share with you guys today, because I committed to myself that I would. And my why is first of all, I believe that I was chosen by God to deliver a particular message and deliver it in a way that resonates with certain people. Somebody else can say the exact same things that I say, and somebody will get it from them and not get it from me, and vice versa. And so it takes all of us collectively bringing what's in us. We all have a unique gift, we all have a unique purpose. And when we step into that purpose, we're filling a void in the world. So I am just that serious about showing up. Not that I feel like it's me, but it's a message that's being presented through me that somebody, even if it's just one person in the world, needs to hear. There are things that I've been through, and I didn't stay in them. I kept going, things that I've been through. And on the other side of whatever those things were, I always ended up smiling. I still was happy. I still had joy about me. And I believe that that's my message, that on the other side of whatever it is that you're going through right now, your smile is waiting for you. Your joy is waiting for you. Opportunity is waiting for you if you will just keep moving forward. So be intentional, be positive to yourself, be your own advocate internally and externally. Check yourself, hear what you're saying about yourself and how you're feeling about yourself. And if you see some issues there, if you see some work that needs to be done, you'll see there, take my free course. Click that link. That course is transforming your inner critic into your inner advocate. It has some worksheets and some things in there that will help you connect to your inner voice, and where you need to do some reframing, some rethinking, some rewriting. It will help you do that so that you can move from criticizing yourself to advocating yourself, so you get out of your own way and you're able to move forward with intention and with expectancy and live the life that you desire. So, all right, guys, I am well over. It is Cassandra Terry, your manifesting miracle maker. Feel free to take advantage of the course. I made it free for a reason, because I think it's something that everybody could benefit from and we all need. I did that work and it really helped me. And my prayer is that it helps you as well. So that's it, guys, for this Wake Up Wednesday. I wish you a wonderful Wednesday and rest of your week. And I will be back tomorrow for my favorite day, Thankful Thursday, which is all about gratitude. And gratitude I love. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Bye-bye.